A camera was one of the things that I got myself with my first real paycheck from my first real job that paid me enough to cover rent bills and have a little bit to, left over to spend or save or whatever. I've always wanted a way to replicate reality as I see it, and photography does that for me. It just makes me feel alive. And it's always done that to me. I think when I got my first camera, which was a digital point and shoot, I just felt so alive with it in my hand. It made me want to go out in the world. So I find the act of making pictures actually extremely therapeutic and over the long term quite fulfilling.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the AG23 Contributor Series. When this project, AG23, went from concept to reality, one of the first people I thought about reaching out to was Charlene Winfred. I know Charlene personally, I like her as a human being, but I think her story is very interesting and intriguing for any of us who got into photography a little uncertain of what the future would be in regards to what photography would ultimately mean to us. So let's listen to Charlene tell us a little bit more about herself and about some of the work that she's been doing.
Who is Charlene Winfred? I was raised in Singapore. I was born here. I was raised here. I am still Singaporean. I do carry that passport. So at the age of 18, I left Singapore for Australia. I went there to go to uni, actually. And then I stayed on for several years afterwards. So 14 years in Western Australia. Western Australia was the first place I owned a camera. And so it was really where I learned about photography, about light. And then 2013, I decided I had had enough of a settled life because I worked in banking there. So I had a 9 to 5 job, the mortgage, the car, blah, 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 blah. So I decided, okay, enough of that. Let's go and see what the rest of the world is like. I had never traveled prior to that. Certainly I migrated from Singapore to Australia, but migration is a very different beast from travel. Migration is about pulling up your roots and sinking them down someplace new. It's a totally different proposition from going somewhere, seeing what it's like, but always leaving. When I decided to take off in 2013, the first place I wanted to go to was Mexico. Some part of me always wanted to go to Mexico, so I did. In that year, 2013, it's quite the year. Spent several months in Mexico. Went to Europe also for the first time. Again, a patch of earth I never really thought I'd see. Europe was a place of castles and dragons and knights and, all of those fairy tale medieval type stories that I absolutely love so well. So yeah, 7 years of travel, still at it. I'm presently employed as a documentary photographer in a humanitarian organization. Where we and consequently I am based in the Kurdish region in northern Iraq. I've been there a year and a half, so I will say I know still next to nothing about Iraq. Again, being there, seeing it for myself, experiencing it every day for myself, just shows us that I've learned over the last 7 years that all of the stereotypes and things I was led to believe about everywhere and everyone that was different to me or didn't come from where I was from is really, really one of the hazards of what Nigerian author Chimamanda Adichie calls the single story. I love that I get to learn this. I love that a camera has brought me here, has given me all of these opportunities in life. It's a massive privilege to travel the world with a camera in my hand. I wouldn't be traveling the world in any other way. Honestly, if I didn't have a camera in my hand, I don't think I would be compelled to travel the world. I would be too afraid. That's what photography has given me, and every single day of my life, whether or not I'm shooting on that day.